Baggage, which is my, I guess you could say my directorial debut in terms of a feature film. I would say it's a neo-noir gangster film. It's set in modern times. It's in the East Coast. It's a cautionary tale about the gangster film or drug life or cartel. Any of those sort of themes get into, but it's ultimately about family. It's about the destruction of the modern family, of the dysfunctional family, and we're viewers from the outside in just seeing this whole world sort of unfold. And it's basically, if I can boil it down into one log line, it would be two brothers. One of them is faced with a deadly decision while the other one has to face the consequences. We see the struggle of these two brothers and their lifestyle, and it's really characters, and it's about characters within this world and how are they reacting in here, and it's about survival above all else. The survival aspect of everything in the movie sort of is the through line. It makes certain characters have moral dilemmas and make certain decisions that they have to make because they're faced with their survival of the streets.
Do it!
I've been working on the script for like 10 years now, tweaking it, changing it, condensing it, figuring out different ways. It's like a huge puzzle, and trying to figure out what's the best way I can tell the puzzle that's not already been seen, that's not already been done, that is original, that I can tell my way. Baggage is different because it's New York. It's a New York-based film. It's Latin. It's got Latin roots in it, and Latin in its true sort of representation, just about authenticity. There's a lot to it, so it's not necessarily a trilogy in the traditional sense, but it does have a sequel, and then there's a spin-off series that I want to do with the movie. So Baggage is the telling of the story from the perspective of the gangsters and the henchmen and the bagmen, as you will, of that world, where the series will be the flip side of that, where we'll see the cops and the investigation and what happens on that side, and where the two meet. If you think of something like David Lynch's Twin Peaks or Fire Walk with Me, right? He did the series, then he did the movie, where it's telling a slightly different perspective of what happened in the series, which I loved. I loved that, and while I was writing the movie, I was binge watching that series and just sort of having that idea of like, oh wow, that'd be really cool to continue with these characters, because I've been writing these characters for a while in that world. Sort of, how can I expand the world of Baggage?
Sounds like the characters wanted you to keep them alive.
Pretty much. That's
the actors will appreciate that.
Yeah, I think the actors will appreciate it. I think the actors, you know, if I had huge budget and all that, then I'd be shooting Baggage 1 and 2 back to back.
Come on, let's... Sorry, bouncers. Dumb shit. I'm gonna do myself.
And right now we're in casting, so we're trying to find the casting for the movie. And in terms of shooting, I'd like to start shooting probably by the fall. Get the casting over, including rehearsals in the summer, and then get into some of the more elaborate scenes in the winter, because the script does take place. It's a full season. Like we see the summer, we see the winter, and how that also takes somewhat of an effect on the world and the characters. When we're rehearsing for Baggage, Discord is going to be the place where we rehearse. We can FaceTime each other. I can see people on their camera. We don't have to necessarily be in the same physical space if we don't have to. So, right, because that comes down to money too. I gotta rent out a space, and that space, and then I gotta, get people there, and they gotta pay bus fare or train fare or gas or whatever it is to get there. And if we don't have to do that, we could just do it on the Discord. Why not just do it on the Discord? We'll do the reading on there. We'll do the the rehearsals up to a certain point, right? There's gonna be rehearsals that we need them in the same space. And that's more so the day of, I think. The day of, we'll have our time, have our time for them to rehearse, and we get to see that rehearsal live, see it in the space that we're actually gonna be filming in. So then we can really dial down into our game plan. I always like going into every production with a plan, and that's at least a shot list. If not a shot list, storyboarding. And if I could take it a step beyond and do some previs, that'd be awesome. But at the very least, I love to storyboard everything, so that way I have a game plan. At least I know the shots that we need to get. And if we get there and the space is totally different or something's totally different, I throw that away. Utilize the space as it is. Whatever opportunities that we see, that's what we're gonna go with. If the actor does something that's totally different from what we have planned, and it's better, by all means, yeah, the storyboards are getting thrown away.
Not thrown away, they're going to be repurposed.
Yeah, right. They will be repurposed, right. Nothing gets thrown away, absolutely. In this new day and age, nothing gets thrown away, because now everything that we do that's part of the project has value. I'm gonna NFT the script. So that script can potentially go out into the crypto free market and get bidded on and get bought by someone, right? So that money now goes into the production. That's a separate NFT from the actual video or from the actual film. So the film can have a separate smart contract made that basically the holder of the NFT script will get a percentage, whatever that percentage is, right? Because they were the initial investor for the movie. Every other collaborator is now not just being paid, let's say an actor, they get their day rate, an editor, they get their day rate, but they're also a contributor, a collaborator in terms of an NFT. What I'm trying to do right now is find the right software developer, someone who's a blockchain developer, someone who knows how to write code, that's able to make customized smart contracts specific for each project that we make. The way that we're gonna promote Baggage, or the way that we're gonna get investors or try to get investors, is to shoot a scene of the movie that is not gonna be in the movie. Being able to give people more of that world or more of that character than just a movie that they went to go see, I think is awesome. Because that's one of the things, especially when you're watching such a good movie, you don't want it to end. You're sitting in the theater and you're like, oh man, I know this movie's about to end soon, but it's so good, I don't want it to end. And I think that sort of promotion taps into that feeling. That's what we're planning to do for Baggage, is to shoot a scene that makes sense, of course, within the world of what we're doing, but it's gonna be a tease to what's to come.